Hi guys, I am back and I thought it would be fun to do a new studio tour organization video. Um, I've done them before, but this studio was renovated just about a year ago. And so I've been living in it ever since. And so I kind of have been tweaking it here and there, getting it organized in a way that works best for me and in ways that might be helpful to you. So that's why I thought I would pop on and just do like a really thorough tour. It might be a little boring, but I do have to say I get quite a few DMs about how I organize my stuff and all that jazz. So I'll try to kind of go through everything and show you the areas, how I have them organized, what's in them, just to see if that's helpful. I guess I could start with my weights that I bought that I haven't used yet. Those are in the studio. I probably just need to move them. The first thing I will say is that I want my studio to be inspiring. So I really took a lot of time over the years to either create art or collect art from other artists to have on my wall. That's my little inspiration area. And just kind of really keep the studio curated in such a way that when I walk in, my association is this is where I'm going to do art, I'm going to create. And so that was something that was extremely important to me. One of the first things I did before we renovated was really paint a mural on the door. I'm not absolutely in love with it, but just my lettering could be better. But anyway, having a mural, my friend Keisha Divini, talk about inspiration. She's got murals everywhere. And after hanging out at her house and doing art in her studio, I was like, well, I should have some kind of mural too. I kind of like that idea. I always feel so inspired when I go into her studio. So I did add that. But anyway, I digress. So the first unit here, and I know people will ask, so I have these two units, and this is kind of here, this is my stamp area. Now, you can get these units in all kinds of places, like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Wayfair. And I did get this one at Wayfair. I will say they're practical. They're not really well made. They're really light wood, very delicate. This piece actually came completely damaged, like completely broken. And they were nice enough to send me another one. And I, had my boyfriend and we tweaked the drawers and kind of glued them back together. But however lovely looking they are, they're very kind of flimsy and they work okay, but they're not the best. So in case people are wondering, I don't feel comfortable recommending stuff that's like kind of well made, but I like how they look and I have them all over the studio, I have to say. But be fair warned, not the best quality. Anyway, so this is where I keep most of my stamps. So I haven't even filled all these drawers up yet. And I'm also in the, oh look, this is my favorite drawer. It's all extra eyeglasses. I am also in the process of just kind of slowly removing things that I just don't use anymore, especially since I'm not doing a lot of promo for other artists. I have my own stuff now. I have my own stamps and my own stencils and washi tape. I have my washi in here. So I just don't need to have so much of other stuff on hand. So I am trying to kind of wind things down. But I'm like anybody else. I still love to collect collage bits and stamps and stuff. So I have these trays that are, this one is, I've shown this before. This is actually just a galvanized silverware tray. And then I got this one, I think I got this one at like the dollar spot in Target. But they're great for organizing all the kinds of little bits that I use for my collage and mixed media. This little tray, this tray is a handle. Again, these are the kinds of things that you're gonna find at Home Goods, any TJX company, Hobby Lobby, Michaels. They're all great for organizing. And I like keeping this stuff out because if I don't, it's not going to get used. So I have it organized by type. Like I have, this is obviously my ideology Tim Holtz section because you always need that stuff. So I've got the vintage photos and the paper dolls, that sort of thing. Various other versions of the same thing here. And then these are more my watercolor bits, my handmade watercolor bits, and just like various other things that I use in my art making. And then this unit, for the most part, is kind of just a hodgepodge of things. You know, it's got a lot of stamps, like my old stamps from years ago, different things like that. And then this one, I have found since I started working with Artfoamies this year, and just being an overall Artfoamies fan, this unit is where I'm keeping all of my Artfoamies. So I usually have it kind of organized by launch or artist, that kind of thing. And this has been really helpful for that. So love that. And then this unit over here, same kind of thing. This is where I keep more of my extra like ideology stuff, like odds and ends. Sometimes I put little art bits in there, startup journals. And a lot of my, like I keep my extra brushes and tools, extra sprays and paints, all of that is kind of in this unit. And then I have these lovely tiered units here. So I have this one, I have this one, and then I have this one here. So it's kind of like small, medium, and large. And this is where I house all my books. So all my handmade books are all in this unit. So I've got tons and tons in here. And, you know, this is my medium size books in here. These are all my, like, the books that I've done with Dina Wakley classes, because I've done so many. And just like different, bigger books up this way. So it's a nice way to display them, because when I keep them around, it keeps me inspired. And then they have the nice handle on top, so I can take it down and me and the kids will spread them out. And that's kind of sometimes what I'll do if I get, you know, like I get in an art rut or something, I'll just go through like my handmade books or my art journals and, you know, get inspiration. Oh, there's me. I did find these really cool frames. They're like the lighting is not my friend today. So like shadow box frames are great for, like, if you take paper doll class with me or you make paper dolls, they're fun for just like fun structures. I have this one over here with some tags that I got from Dina Wakley. Just a fun way to display like three-dimensional mixed media stuff. So, and this thing I love, I found this at a yard sale for like 15 bucks. And it's a great like display piece. It's not like the most practical display piece, but it is kind of fun. And these are some cute nesting dolls that my sister made for the boys. They're gorgeous. Anyway, so that's those two units. And then over here, as you move this way, I have all my books and magazines here. That's my sewing machine. And then in these boxes, these are all stamps. So these are all the cling stamps for the most part, or rubber. So I have like my darkroom door, my Paper Artsy, Dina Wakley Dilutions, All in Crate, Paper Artsy, Tim Holtz. All that stuff is in these drawers. I guess I could pull one out. I'm trying not to do the shaky camera thing. So you can see here, got all my Lynn Perella. And then here, these are all my Dina Wakley stamps. So it's nice to have things out in the open so that they're ready to be used. So as we get closer to the desk, this is where I really try to keep things mindful of how frequently I use them. I'm going to turn off these lights because I feel like they're, hold on. Sorry, I just feel like the lighting is a little odd with those on. So this is another unit. This is where I keep my, down here in the shelf, all my larger journals. And then in here, that's my laptop. And then I have these two units that have all the like Dina Wakley and Dilutions collage bits and tissue and papers and their stencils, because for so long, for like 4 years, I was doing a lot of promo on Ranger. So I need to have that on hand, like at the ready. And then here I have this little unit, which I love. It's like a Rae Dunn unit. Again, Home Goods, those kinds of places have these. And it's where I have a drawer for my paper dolls that are ready to go. Bits and bobs in different shapes. So those are at the ready. And then this is my fodder school book that has even more bits and pieces in it. So here's more glasses. I keep tons on hand because I wear two different ones, and I don't like wasting time looking for them because, of course, like everyone, I put them everywhere, all over the house. And this is a cute little speaker for my, it's called a boombox. It's for my phone, and then I can listen to it. So I have my Rolodex close to my desk. So now we're going into my desk area, and this is the most important space because I really wanted to have, I'm going to try and sit down and not move the camera. I really wanted to have everything kind of almost like a central station. Like while I'm working, everything that I use most frequently is at the ready. So my goal with this desk here is to not have anything on the surface, with the exception of like the inks and the paints and the markers. So this pile I really want to go. And I've worked on this little area the last year, and I did get quite a bit of stuff kind of out. That's just there temporarily. But the idea is to have like a really big work surface so that while I'm working, I've got everything I could possibly need at the ready or super nearby. And so as you span out, this stuff gets used a little less frequently. My sewing machine, this is just backup. This stuff I use, here and there, so that's over there. It's really the stuff that I use constantly every day is all close by my desk. So, and I feel like that's pretty straightforward, but my desk is open and it has these shelves. So what I've done, I've got all those ugly cords under there. So what I've done is put these drawers here, or just baskets. So I just finished kind of finalizing the organization yesterday. This is all my working journals. So I have like my Jaya journal is in here, my smaller collage journal. All the stuff that I'm kind of working on currently is in here. I've been working in this journal lately. And just having like my watercolors. I just got the layer cakes from Jane Davenport, which I love. So that's kind of right next to me. So I can have it put away at the end of the day. I always clean my desk off at the end of the day. So I start with a clean slate. That's just me. But I tend to really need to have everything super organized so I don't get overwhelmed. That's kind of a big thing for me. Some artists work well in chaos and it actually aids in their art making. But I would just get so cranky that I wouldn't be able to do any art. Anyway, so on this side, in this drawer, I have, in the front of it, I have all my stencils here. And these are organized and clipped by type. So like this is my paper doll and people section, and this is my pattern stencils. So that way I kind of have it organized in a way that works for me. And then in here, these are all my collage papers that I keep almost like a file, like files like this. And they're organized by color. And I actually have, for example, each batch of colors have their own little kind of like folder. And I can take this out and put it on my desk if I'm working with a color story, and then put it back in when I'm done. So it's a nice way to keep it kind of organized, because I use collage papers all the time. And then up here I have, these are all the washi tapes. I use a lot of washi. These are some other smaller journals that I'm also working in, but they're made by other people for the most part. So I kind of work more slowly in them because they're just more precious to me. But these are all my, basically all my tapes. And I always have my pencil sharpener and my corner punch in here because I use those a lot when I'm making journals. And then I have a little pot for all my, like my Ranger mini blending tool and the foams. I just did this weekend too. I had my Caran d'Ache Neo colors in the tin and they all look so brand new, but I never use them. They were in a drawer. And I do use the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils often, so I decided to put these out as well so I could use them both because they're different. And I just got all the new colors. So this is sets 1 through 6 in here. So I love these. I just think they're so cool. And then all my paint is in here. And I have all my Dina Wakley paint in here up front, which is pretty much what I use most of the time. I mean, not only do I just love the quality and I have so much of it from working with Ranger and Dina, but I have to say, it still is my favorite paint. Like, I just love her paint, her colors. They're the colors that I gravitate towards. So I have those in here. I have some turned upside down because they're almost out, and so I'm just trying to keep them. And then in the back, I have distress paints, which are newer for me. So I have those all in the back as well. Before, I used to have a ton of stuff in here. And then sometime last year, I cleaned this all out and found homes for that so that I could just have all paint. So that feels good. And then I have this little fixture here. And this is all my heating tools, my scissors, stapler, glues, ink pads, little ink pads, scribble sticks. You know, at some point, maybe I'll put those in a container, I'm not sure. And then all my pens. So I have like my writing pens, my gel pens, and all 3 sizes of the Poscas. I mean, there's more sizes of the Poscas. There's these gigantic things, but I only have 3 of those. So, you know, my 1, my 3s, my 5 centimeters or whatever, those are all here. I always have a jar of paint water going, and I always put it on top of some paper towels because as I'm working, I need to like dry them off. And I always have my Grolstein water. Grolsteiner water, my favorite. And then, you know, like I have a little trash basket here, and I have another drawer down here that I'm still working on. It's kind of miscellaneous stuff. But that's there. So, you know, at some point I might, sorry, I keep putting my finger in front of the lens. I might actually get this drawer with more stuff that I use more frequently and take some of this out, especially if I do more stamps. Maybe I need to just have my own stamps closer here as opposed to having like my art foamies all the way over there. I'm not sure. So it just needs to make sense. So that way, while I'm working, everything is at the ready. And then, like I said, the paper dolls aren't far off, stamps aren't far off. It's all kind of by use. And then I have here next to me, this happened kind of serendipitously. I'm trying to shove this back out. I have this like table here. This is probably the kind of thing people might put in their hallway or behind a couch. But I got it because I needed something here to be next to my desk, and it's for my kids. So my kids share this space with me, my little kids and my big kids too, really. And so this is their art table and their work desk. But when they're home, this is where I set up my stencil station. So I put all my bins of stencils. I can pull this out, and I've got like a full-on L-shaped situation for when I'm processing orders, because that takes up a lot of space. So it's kind of nice. And then over here, this is where I do all my filming, even though it's a tiny little space. I have it here. It works for the most part because I've got this natural light. So it's really ideal, and it's about the width of a desk. I mean, it's a bookshelf. Here's all my air plants that I'm trying not to kill. And it's kind of nice too. I've got the birds like right outside the window here. And then I have my arm here, which I love. And this is how I film just about everything, right at the window. So I'm thinking about moving some of my filming over here because I just have more space, and it's in front of a window too. And in the summer, I'll work at this desk more because then I can kind of keep an eye on the boys if they're playing. This is their little garden that you can't see because our windows are broken. But I have a little children's garden right in front there. So I can watch the boys if they're playing. And then over here, just like more inspiration and art. I love Miss Dale Kearning, so I have a lot of her art out. And then this unit was recently just odds and ends, but I've been putting all my Jaya journals, my journal into your art journals. Those are all in here. And I gotta say, like, seeing them all together, it's such inspiration. Like whenever I'm feeling low and like, I'm not getting anything done, or I don't do enough, and then I just see them all lined up, I'm like, that's like 3 years worth of journals. So that you're doing a lot. Like, don't feel bad. Anyway, I love that they're all on the shelf. And then again, I have art, things that people have made, different things people have made me. So I have all that here as inspiration. Dolls that either I've made or other people have made are in there. And then I moved some of these quote books and inspiration books. There's a couple sticker books. I put those out today. They were in a box. And I put those out, and that really has helped keep things a little more organized. And then in here, I've got all kinds of, these are all my Ranger journals. Like I have 2 drawers. I can't even get in there, they're so jammed, but I have just drawers of just blank journals at the ready. I have all my ribbons in a drawer. I think this is just miscellaneous stuff. Yeah, a lot of miscellaneous stuff. All my die cuts are in here. My sister-in-law gave me a die cutting machine, so I've been playing with those. And then I have my sprays and paints up here too. So, oh, I lost one. I have my Dylusions paints here. That's a Dina. My inks, my stickles, my glitter stuff, distress inks, and then more up here, the Dina Wakley acrylic sprays and paints. And then last year, I really wanted to try out the fresco paints from Paper Artsy. And the owner was kind enough to send us some. And then I added a whole bunch here as well. So I can carry this to my desk. It's very handy. And I'm always thinking like that. Like if I have something away from my desk, it usually has a handle. I can hear my kids squealing in the background. And that's pretty much it. And then otherwise I have in my closet, this doesn't look so pretty, but I have the roller cart. This is more where most of this is all my kids' stuff. So this is how we share. This is all their art supplies and games. We have games up there. And then on the other side, sorry, this is like the shakiest camera situation. And then on that side, that's where I have all my stencils in there. This cabinet here I found on the side of the road. It used to be really cute. I've kind of damaged it. It's like a mission style. But the doors slide open, and that's where I have, I'll just show you, I guess. I have all my paper. So I have plain paper, cardstock. I have magazines there. And then I have like scrapbooking paper, and then various kinds of watercolor paper in there. And then I have my large watercolor papers there. And then lastly, in this little corner here, I don't know if you can see, but I have tons of rolls of handmade papers. And because they're in the closet, siphoned off, again, I want to make sure I'm always using things. So what I started doing yesterday is, I'll show you, I take them out and I cut them up. So I'll take some of the rolls, I'll cut them up like so. So everything is kind of the same size. I can't shove those back in, and then I put them in my collage drawer so that way they're getting used as well. So I have a little Stabilo container here that I made. So I have all my Stabilo pencils, and I make sure that there's lots of lighting. The other thing is my my heating tool is always plugged in and at the ready, so I have it just kind of out of the way, but here I use it a lot for my watercolors to speed up drying time. And then I have things like my phone chargers here, just little things to kind of make life accessible. And then I have my inspiration wall here. And last year we repainted everything, but there were these ugly brackets, and my boyfriend, I was like, I just want something different, kind of steampunky, and he found these right away. And I just thought they were so cool, so we put these up. I love them. And just like more inspiration over here. So I have all my favorite paper dolls are right over there. And then I have more stuff up here. This is one of my favorite finds in the dollar spot in Target. It's supposed to be a paper organizer, but I like it when I'm making jelly print papers. You can stack them on there while they're drying, so they're not all over your house. And then up here on these shelves, just some more inspiration. And then this is where I keep all my sewing stuff, in those bins. So I think that's pretty much it. I hope I gave you some ideas and answered some of your questions. I know I'm always looking for ideas on studio organization and studio tours, so I thought I would share this with you and just give you a walkthrough and giving you some ideas. DM me if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer. And I will be back with more tips and tricks.